Alright, you've entered the ludicrous zone. That's right, we're going to do a ludicrous video. An absolute ludicrous video response to the most ludicrous video I think I've happened upon in at least 5 hours. So here we go. Vital Finds is back. Yeah. She's deaf and she's dumb, but unfortunately she's not mute. You know, way out of her fucking league, and so I must smite her. You know, it must be done.
I can't understand Amendum. I thought he was rude at first, then I thought he was interesting, and now I think he's...
You do that on almost every fucking subject. You know that? I mean, every time you open your mouth, it's like, I don't know, I'm over here, and then I was over here, and then I was over there. I mean, it's Wednesday. This is my opinion on Wednesday. Friday, I'll have another opinion. Then 3 weeks from now, I'll have another observation. You really haven't got any of this tied down. You haven't got any of this stuff figured out. Yet you're opening your mouth. You know how pointless that is? Yeah, your opinion changes every 15 minutes. That ought to indicate to you that maybe I'll wait till it stops vibrating and gets a little bit consistent.
Just, I don't know, out there, I guess.
Yeah, well, you were never in there, so you haven't even, you gotta climb, the mountain, you gotta get in the game to be in the game, okay? You're not even in the game. You're way out of your fucking league. You're a spectator commentating, okay? You're embarrassing yourself.
He doesn't name names with this birthright thing that he constantly chants, birthright.
All right, what are your statistics, Vital? What are your statistics? Why don't you statistics. You don't name names. You want me to provide you with 232,000 names? We're talking about the top 3%, the top 5% of maybe income wealth holders in the country, and what percentage of that wealth is Getty wealth, Rockefeller wealth? You can go Carnegie. You can go right down the frickin' list of all the big names and all those. You've even mentioned these names. You've mentioned Kennedy, okay? Who I'll point out to you that Kennedy's politics is very liberal, and he would tax himself. So you can scorn his personal wealth, but you can't scorn his politics. All right, he's not being a hypocrite about that. But anyway, you know how the names change, right? It goes from Kennedy, and then it goes to Shriver, and now it's Schwarzenegger. So now Kennedy money from 1930 is now Schwarzenegger money. All right, and you saw how McCain's wife, she had $25 million. She do any work for that money? No, Daddy gave it to her. Kerry, when he ran for president, his wife, Mrs. Hines, right, $1 zillion. Did she ever do any work for it? No. Maybe 40 of the names on the top 500 list. Guess why they're there? Walmart. Did they ever work at a Walmart? No. God damn. So you're premising your argument on some idea that there's some realistic hope that what everybody knows is that 90% of this wealth is held by that top 5%, and you're going to make some other argument? And then why don't you point out how that other argument is viable? Oh, you're incredible.
He just doesn't make any sense. I mean, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't propose anything.
Oh, please. He doesn't propose anything. I mean, the last video I made, I sat there and proposed something. Yes, limits on the amount of inheritance. So a $1 million limit on how much one individual can inherit, and say a $10 million limit on what a total estate can give away, and then the rest goes back to the state. I've made the argument. I've made, incredibly detailed explanations of how money is created, how wealth is created. It's not created from a tree. Rich people don't rub a magic tree and the money falls out. No, a worker has to do productive labor. You don't understand anything about how the economy works. You're just, it is so disgusting to have, you're such a grotesque amateur, and you're walking around like you have a credential to have an opinion, okay, that you can express, and that's supposed to be just as valid, and everybody's supposed to pay attention to it and waste their time having to argue with your inane nonsense.
Nothing is realistic. subject. I mean, he wants to put us all in a video game.
Oh, now you're bringing up a completely different subject. All right? And then also you want to bring up, it's not a video game, okay? But yeah, it's virtual reality. And why was that proposed? It was proposed because we're going to have a real fucking problem surviving the future. Because we're basically a violent, greedy bastard, okay? As you amplify, okay? We're selfish assholes, all right? And once we have all this technology available, we're going to end up killing each other, all right? That's our fucking future, is doom, all right? And obviously, as we demonstrate, as me and you demonstrate, we don't have compatible worlds. We don't see the world the same way. We want a different world. And one of us is going to have to be a winner, and one of us is going to have to be a loser. And that's going to happen all over the world. People are going to have to be winners, and they're going to have to be losers in our future, okay? Because they're not going to be able to, everybody can't be a millionaire. Everybody can't, no, there's no way that happens. And I think you should be smart enough to realize that. There's no way the system can exist if there aren't losers, if there aren't poor people to exploit. There's no more capitalism. There's no more productivity to exploit anymore. There's no more surplus they can glean, all right? So they have to exist. The poor, the refuse has to exist. The desperation has to exist for your stupid system to exist, all right? So these are incompatible futures. Our visions are completely incompatible. And that's why, yes, in a virtual world, we won't be killing each other over it. We can live our own separate lives in our own separate worlds, and they don't have to interact with each other. They don't have to feed off of each other. And it's also provides a solution to the whole energy dilemma and a lot of other things. But that's not even the fucking subject. And the fact that you have to throw that little crappy remark in here just indicates how desperate you little fuckers are. You're just such weasels. You can't argue the goddamn facts. No, you have to argue this weasel nonsense. You know, distract and detract.
Anyway, I had started to watch Morphine's video. I hadn't gotten very far, but it sounds like...
Great. So it sounds like... So, yeah, you can't even watch a goddamn video and you're going to commentate. Brilliant again. Really brilliant strategy. Oh, God, you're disgusting. All right, so let's move to the end. She goes on to this whole spiel about the homeless, and because somebody else proposed something, it's a Mendham idea, because, yeah, Mendham wants to give all the money to the homeless people. Well, look, I'd help slide a few of them, to the, Great Divide or whatever, because some of them are just sick animals and we're just torturing them. But she brought up the state institutions, and what happened? Yeah, we didn't fund the state institutions because you rich bastards all want your fucking tax cuts. You're too greedy to give goddamn 10 cents to the sick people, all right? And so they're living in hellholes. We had one in this goddamn state called Greystone, of all names, all right? And it was exactly what its name implies. It was a gray, dank prison for the mentally ill, all right? It was disgusting how people were treated in there, all right? And so you wouldn't spend the goddamn money. So yeah, they let the people out because it was inhumane to keep them in the prison, all right? And it was a goddamn prison, and so we don't spend the money to take care of these people. Now we just throw them on the street, and then you sit there and somehow are indicating somehow that's not a Republican strategy, that's somehow something that wouldn't be fixed by some sort of liberal social policy that says, yeah, let's take care of these fuckers. I mean, you're the one running away from the problem. Other people are trying to find a solution to the problem. And the money could go to, you don't give them the money. You don't hand some guy $1 million on the street. No, you give the money to Habitat for Humanity or some other fucking organization. They'll provide some sort of means for these people to become integrated into our fucking society. All right? You just, anyway, it's just fucking bullshit rhetoric. All right, so I'm just going to slide up to the end here, where she makes some more outrageous comments. A little bit before 9 minutes. Oh, that should do it.
So, anyway, I mean, just... I'm not saying that everybody that babbles on video blogs necessarily needs to do extensive research, but... it ought to make a little tiny bit of sense at least.
A sense to who? Sense to a fucktarded idiot like you? Nobody can make anything make sense to you. You're fucking retarded. What are your credentials? What are you talking about, this research you've done? What research have you done? What is your credibility? What's your credentials? You don't have any. All right? None. You are completely indecisive. You have no idea what the truth is. You're always looking around like, what's the truth? What's the truth? It's not that hard to fucking figure it out. I, on the other hand, have been consistently speaking the same shit for over 20 fucking years. I wrote my first proposal for changing the democratic process 20 years ago. All right? It's the same damn proposal, that we get rid of the geographic biases in our goddamn fucking electoral system, and it will change the whole dynamic of our democracy, because we'll no longer have the same winner-take-all election in every goddamn state. Every congressman won't look alike anymore. All right? They'll represent the real diversity that exists in our goddamn country. All right? Things like instant runoff voting. I was advocating for that 20 fucking years ago. All right? So I have credentials. What are your fucking credentials?
And it's frustrating when people just talk completely out their butt.
Yeah, well, right. You've got an ass on both ends, lady, and you're just talking shit. Nothing. What specific have you ever dealt with? Which specific proposal, what specific solution have you ever talked about, ever? What's your solution to $13 trillion in national debt and $50 trillion in personal debt? How exactly would you fix the problem? Do you have any fucking idea how to liquidate that debt? How do you do it? You don't even understand who holds it. You don't understand that there are IOUs for 3 times the value of what exists in the fucking world. And so the only way those IOUs can be paid back is there are promises against future fucking labor. And so people somehow are going to have to not only work their regular job, but they're going to have to work 2/3 more jobs, okay, to pay back that money in the future. And you're going to, and I have, it's somehow you can't figure out that that's unsustainable, that that's an impossible scenario, and that something has to give somewhere, that can't fucking happen. I mean, thank God your capitalist system is going to crash. It's going to fall down so fucking hard. All right, and you're, well, whatever. Okay, you are just so. It is just so ironic that you would sit there and point your scurvy finger at anybody else and say they are ignorant or they're talking out of their ass when that's all you fucking do. I mean, it's like the goddamn pot calling ivory tusks black. I mean, it's just incredibly pompous and arrogant. You are a perfect example of an ignorant Reagan Republican. Okay, your crayon drawings, space shields, all kinds of these bullshit pie in the sky, voodoo economics. I mean, you're just a born sucker. Okay, and then you get on fucking blog on this fucking medium and you talk like you can judge somebody else's credibility to speak. God damn, you're just disgusting. You're just fucking disgusting. There, how was that? Ripped her a new ass.